G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the... Can we say it yet, Gims? Can we say it?
Well, an interesting development came up. Apparently the FTC actually knows what family-friendly content is, suitable for all ages and not just kids content. So we may actually be in the clear
to say, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. Woo! I'm glad we got that over with. Seriously, I'm sick and tired of saying children get out of here because it's
oh no, we still gotta tell them to get the hell out.
Come on, I believe the children are. Screw all that shit.
Screw all that. We don't want you.
Screw it. Yes, we do. We need you.
Age of 13, you're not even supposed to be on this website. Go to YouTube Kids.
That's right. That's right. So welcome everybody, 13 and up. This is the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, joined here by my co-hosts. As always, we got my brother, my right hand, on the G Show when it comes to Godzilla. G73, Megsy, my brother Chase. How the hell you doing?
I'm doing all right. I woke up maybe 20 minutes ago. I'm ready to rock and roll, man.
That's right. I should also note that we are doing this podcast at 5 p.m. and he just woke up. That's not true. That's not true at all.
Well, yesterday I woke up at 2, so you're close.
If only. Also joining us, you heard him at the top of the show right there. Gam Z1, my brother Andrew. What's going on?
Oh, I am doing quite all right. I just recently finished completed my Godzilla Blu-ray collection. I got the Neck of Burning Godzilla. He's a beautiful boy. And things has just been going real smoothly these past couple weeks.
Look at that, real smooth these past couple of weeks. We also got some Godzilla news. Godzilla vs. Kong news that actually broke about a week ago. Last week, and this was, I guess, breaking news, if you will. Last week at the Brazilian Comic-Con or Expo, whatever the hell was going on over there, Warner Brothers had their 2020 movie release slate thing, and they started showcasing some of their movies. And of course, with Godzilla vs. Kong being pushed back to November 2020, I'm like, they're not showing shit. They're not gonna show a thing. But Megsy Chase, he held on to hope. He was like, they might show something. I doubted it. I was like, no. And sure shit, there it was in all of its 3-second glory. We had a minor clip of Godzilla and Kong standing on what looks to be an aircraft carrier.
Kong putting the haymaker on Godzilla, Ray. You gotta hype it up. It's exciting.
It's 3 seconds.
It's 3 seconds of grainy footage of Kong throwing a haymaker, as Chase said.
Yeah, I just want to hear the word haymaker.
To Godzilla. And that's it. We don't even get to see it connect. We just see the swing coming in, and then it cuts to some dancing shit. So
it cuts to shit no one cares about, WB.
So that being said, it really was, though, in all honesty, all joking aside, it was the talk of the internet in this fandom on Sunday of last week. It was blowing up everywhere because it was our first official footage of Godzilla vs. Kong. It let people know that this movie is happening regardless of it being pushed back several months. It's coming. It's going to happen. So, that being said, there was a whirlwind of chaos, if you will, amongst the fans. People who loved it. People, yeah, it is. Oh, and look who's here, by the way, who hasn't been here a couple of weeks. Gam Z1 joins us. We haven't gotten his reaction to the movie being pushed back. We'll get to that shortly once we get to him. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, it was very cool to see something I thought wasn't going to be shown. To get overexcited about it, I don't know. I was happy. I was like, oh shit. I honestly thought that if they're going to show this little brief clip, then there might be a teaser in here somewhere. There wasn't. I'm personally happy there wasn't. because we need to save that for a little bit later to really get the ball rolling when it needs to get rolling. But that all being said, he hasn't been here for a couple of weeks, so I'm gonna throw this right to Gam first.
Alright.
Gams. The movie got pushed back. You weren't here to talk about that. You see a 3-second clip. We're here to talk about it now. Your reaction and response to all of this Godzilla vs. Kong news.
Okie dokie. So, my personal reaction. I'm going to start with the clip first. The clip was for the 3 seconds it was there, it was pretty decent. It was shot beautifully. The lighting was on point. And it really shows that there's going to be a frickin' brawl that's probably going to span like almost worldwide, because like they're on some sort of aircraft carrier. And that's the thing that's got the fandom in a tizzy. Because, the aircraft carriers are too small, these kaiju are too big, how are they not sinking the aircraft carrier? Listen here now. Okay. There are aircraft carriers that are nearly 2,000 feet long and 300 feet wide. I'm pretty sure that the aircraft carriers of that size can handle 2 monsters being on top of it, even if they're 300 feet tall. But that's just me. But yeah, it was pretty dope. I enjoyed it. I played it on loop for a couple times to see if there was anything of note, and it's just Kong throwing a punch.
And Godzilla climbing the aircraft carrier.
Yeah, he did, and he was kind of in a weird position because like his tail was like hanging off the side, and
because it wasn't fully up on the aircraft carrier yet. But we can get to that later because I have a big spiel about that.
Yeah. But as for the movie being pushed back, Chase, don't say anything. Because we already talked about this. I'm a realist, leaning on pessimist when it comes to shit like this. There's only one reason, in my mind, that the movie got pushed back. And that's because it's gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad movie. And they pushed it to a very low-key, low-profile time slot in November so that it won't get much competition and it'll just have its release. It'll just be like, oh, there it is. Instead of this big event. Just, oh, there it is. There's Godzilla vs. Kong. Because it's gonna suck. And there we go.
Why do you think it's going to suck?
Because it got pushed back. There's no other reason that a company would push a movie back unless, A, they just really need to touch it up, but even then it wouldn't be that long of a pushback if they just need to do some touch-ups. Or B, they need to do some serious reshoots in order to salvage a garbage movie, and I think that's what's going to happen, but I don't think these reshoots are going to salvage it all that much. I think it'll be better than what it would have been if it came out in March, but I don't think it's going to be much better. I still think it's going to suck. The movie's going to suck. Oh, well.
See, I don't call that being a pessimist. I call it being a pessimist.
Or C, they listened to the Godzilla Block Party, and they heard us saying, you should push it back to November, just to, get the stank of Godzilla King of the Monsters out of people's brains and push it back to November, and that is absolutely where I'm thinking they're doing. Although I don't disagree with Gam's statement. I'm personally not saying it's gonna suck. I think if that's the case and they got to do some reshoots, and we spoke about this on the last podcast, Chase and I, it's for the better. They're going to get rid of the crappy material that they thought was going to work in King of the Monsters that evidently didn't. And they're going to, I hope, personally, this is what I hope, they're going to go back to, let's say, Godzilla 2014. They're, and bring a little bit more mystique to it. Even though at this point in time, the cat's out of the bag. There is no mystique to this anymore. Just make it a more serious and grounded movie. But Chase, go ahead, my brother, rebuttal.
No, I'm not going to rebuttal because I do agree with Andrew. I don't think firmly that the movie's going to suck. I don't think the reason why they're pushing. I honestly think the reason why they're pushing it back is because they set their ambitions way, way, way too high, putting out a movie in March when that definitely was not enough time to finish the movie. And I think coming out in November is a safe spot because you kind of have to think, what would be a good spot to put it. And they need to make sure that I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a perfect month that sets up a good way for marketing to push something out. And around November, yeah, the thing is November. There are several months throughout the year that aren't big movie-ridden months, and I think it would have been the case for any movie putting it out in any month, not just Godzilla vs. Kong. So I think finding a month that works, like November, is just part of how the natural order has to be. I don't think the month has anything to do with it, to be honest.
But I kind of do, because if they wanted to do that, like what you said, they would have put it out like around the time that the Meg came out, which was late August, early September kind of area.
But there's a lot of stuff
trying to do some research, some touch-up special.
There's a lot of movies coming out in August, though. That's the thing. You have a lot of movies coming out in August. You have a lot of movies coming out in September now. You have a lot of movies coming out in October now. None of those months are necessarily considered safe anymore. So that could be an option. And I'm not saying that is what's going on. I think, they could have put it in October. They could have put it in September. They could have put it in August. Yeah. But there probably is a lot of movies coming out that they weren't comfortable with putting it up against. But like I said, we don't even know the for sure reason why it's being pushed back. My only thing is because they are paying attention to what is working and what isn't. And I don't think it's a bad thing for trying to fix that. I don't think it's bad that they're trying to give themselves a chance. I don't think they're just going to sit on their ass all the way till November with this movie, even if it's finished already, just to put it out in November. That's just not logical.
Well, I'm not even saying that. It's not the fact that it's being delayed that I'm mad. I'm mad at the fact that it's weird because, like, I'm trying to think of the words to try to describe my feelings about this, because, like, it's not the pushback itself that I'm mad at. It's the fact that most of the time when you push something back, it's because either you set the time the initial release day way too early and you just need more time. But they didn't say that. They haven't said literally anything. And I just think the reason that they pushed back is because the movie itself is going to be bad. The delay isn't bad. The movie's going to be bad.
Okay. Well, think of it on what was actually obvious and put in front of you. There was no marketing that started at all. And I honestly think that because look, you got to understand too, the movie initially was supposed to come out in May, and then it got pushed up to March. So I think really what happened is when they were making this movie, they thought that they would have had enough time for it to come out in May. Then they're like, oh, well, maybe now since Fast and the Furious is taking the spot head-to-head, we need to find a way to push it to where maybe we can still finish the film and have it out. Then they realized by this time, I mean, look, the talks of it being delayed were back all the way in, like, the beginning of after King of the Monsters release. So I think it was decided to delay the film right from the beginning, and they just didn't want to say anything to cause a commotion until the time was right. I just think that maybe the chance is maybe that it's not the fact that the movie sucks or is bad. I think there is a big possibility that they're doing it because, for one, they need to make a marketing strategy to market it, and they had nothing. And they also need to make sure that that the film is just finished on time. It could easily be a thing where it's like, we just need more time on this film. You have to understand that it's not just going to be Godzilla and Kong in this movie. That's a big CGI ticket-ridden film. It is a big visual effects-ridden film. That's not just going to be something they just shit out of their ass and hand it to people on a platter. They totally could, but Legendary's not going to do that. So I think in the end of the day, March was just a month that was just not logical in their minds, and they realized that, and they set their ambitions way, way too high, and they just needed to rewrite what was going on. I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the movie, but I will say at the end of the day, the matter of the movie and whether you like it or not is all up to you. So whether it sucks or not, I mean, it could be the shittiest movie ever, and you could still like it, a.k.a. Shin Godzilla, and you get Godzilla versus Kong. It could be a great movie or it could be a bad movie. At the end of the day, it's all up to you. So that's where I'll stand at that. So I guess we just have to wait and sit till November.
Damn it, Chase, you threw me off my game. I gotta refocus. Damn it, Chase, really. I didn't see that coming. It came out of left field. So,
but I do want to. I want to go into something really cool about that teaser, though.
Wait. I'm not there yet. We're going to get to that. Let me just make this point real quick.
I wanted to say something that I thought was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool.
Let me make this point. So, Gam is saying this is getting delayed because the movie's bad, and they know it. Chase, you're saying it's getting delayed because they raised the bar too high for themselves, and they weren't near where they should have been or wanted to be. I'm saying they pushed it back because they saw the flop that was King of the Monsters and said, time out. We got to rethink strategy here.
And
so basically, it's like both of yours combined. It could be a bad movie, right? And it wasn't finished, or they're going back and they're saying, all right, we got to rethink what we did because this did not work. And if that's what we were going to get in Godzilla vs. Kong, more of what did not work, again, and I said this in the last podcast, the Michael Bay-isms that should not be involved at all with Godzilla or any franchise that has a significant following. If you want to start from scratch and create something new, let's say Michael Bay said, hey, I've got this great idea before Guillermo del Toro. So I got this great idea about giant robots fighting giant monsters, and I want to call it Pacific Rim. And that movie never came out, and this was a Michael Bay original, and he introduced all of that, corny jokes, bad jokes, making fun of shit jokes. Then that's one thing, because that's its own separate entity. It's not an established franchise, right? Let's just say that's what happened. But when you take something like Transformers and then you do, dogs pissing on robots and just corny-ass jokes, that's what King of the Monsters was doing. They incorporated bad Michael Bay-ism jokes. And because again, I'm going to stand firm, and I get where you're coming from, Chase, but I'm going to stand firm in my ground. I think they had more than enough time to get what they needed to get done if this movie was still coming out in March. They had more than enough time to do so. They knew what was happening in King of the Monsters. It's not like it's two different companies making these movies. It's all under the same umbrella. So they knew what was coming in King of the Monsters, had more than enough time to do the previs for that, right? We don't know timeline-wise where Adam Wingard was with the writer, but there was definitely a gestation period already. Like, they knew this is going to lead into this. It wasn't like 2014 into Kong Skull Island and then birthing King of the Monsters. They knew that King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong was going to be direct. So in that regard, that's why I still say they had more than enough time. But what Gang was saying, it's going to be bad. And again, I take both of what y'all saying, I'm gonna put it together and say it's because of the reaction of King of the Monsters. They announced that this movie was coming out before King of the Monsters even came out because they were banking on this is gonna work, and then it didn't. Oh, we gotta rethink strategy. Let's go back. You know what I mean? So again, it could be a mixture of both, but I lean a little bit more towards GvK. It's not saying the movie's going to be bad, but saying that the idea that they had in place was King of the Monsters is going to do better than we think, and then we'll just write that into Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong. And
I completely have. I sit on that ship anyways. I thought that's obvious. That is exactly what they thought. King of the Monsters was going to be great, and so they could pull a Marvel and then have the movie come out a couple months after that and be sitting pretty on it. But that ended up not being the case.
Right.
But I'll say whatever happens, I can't wait until we get that collector's edition Blu-ray and I can hear Adam Wingard say, "Oh, well, this is when post-production ended or whatever, or when production ended." And with that being said, we won't get that because Legendary doesn't put stuff in their Blu-ray deleted scenes and all their special features.
They don't put shit in anything unless it's actually a Toho Blu-ray. Can't wait for that collector's edition with the SH roster to come out. Woo!
Man, I'm glad y'all brought that up.
You need a region-free DVD Blu-ray player to watch it.
There was something I just watched. Baby. There was something I just watched recently.
So, hold on. I will say I tried putting a region-free disc in my PlayStation. PlayStation has updated their consoles to where that if you live in the United States, you can only change your region code 4 times.
You gotta be kidding.
I saw something like that,
You will not be able to watch it permanently.
I saw something like that. That's unfortunate.
And that pissed me off so much.
Stupid, dude.
Well, no, what they're doing, again, as gamers, all right, because let's be for real here, all three of us game. As gamers, we have that option and luxury of saying, well, my gaming system couldn't, substitute as a Blu-ray region-free Blu-ray player, and now Sony's getting hit to the game. It's kind of like when you share your Netflix subscription. They're like, wait.
I think I might know a way around that because I have actually 2 PSN accounts. I have my main PSN account and I have my Japanese PSN account, so I can buy and download games on the Japanese PSN store. So
he didn't say that, ladies and gentlemen. Sony, if you're listening, he did not just say that. But I heard that what Chase just said. I did read something. I didn't read the whole article, but I briefly read some stuff about that, and I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. And the only thing I can think of is that they want you to buy.
I have a Disturbed 10,005th Special Edition CD that I bought from the UK. And it works on my Mac computer fine. It doesn't do that. But I put it in my PlayStation because I knew it was region-free. And I was like, okay, what the heck of it? And when I popped it in, it took me to my settings, and it said you have to change your console settings to what region you want. And I would change it and said, all right, you have 4 changes left. And then after that, it went down and down and down and down. So I don't know if it's a thing. It's going to be easy as just switching accounts because it was a hardware change. It wasn't just a sign-in change. It was actually a physical hardware setting change. So if there's a way around that, which I'm sure there might be if you're good at hacking your console, but I don't know. But yeah, so
ladies and gentlemen, the internet culture where everything gets updated every other month. I can't stand it. Yes, that's right. Call me a boomer if you want, but I'm actually a Gen Xer.
Okay, Zoomer.
That's an inside joke, ladies and gentlemen, and I couldn't stop laughing before we started this podcast. But all right, listen, we done enough with the reasons why it got pushed back. Let's a little bit quickly focus on the punch heard round the fandom, okay? Or
I like that. I like that. The punch heard around the fandom.
Or aircraft carrier gate, okay? Because seriously, I'm one of those people.
One more thing I want to say about the footage, because I did start with the footage. One more thing before I give it over to Chase. I love how the fandom have kept on going back and forth before we finally saw this footage, about Kong's sizing.
Oh, boy.
And people saying, oh, they better give us an explanation. Oh, he's not going to be that big. Oh, yada, yada, yada. And now we finally have this footage, and he's that big, and some people in the fandom are mad that he's as big as Godzilla. He's like, he should be that big. I'm just like, monkey got big. Shut up. Shut up. Monkey got big.
Kong was a chimpanzee in Skull Island. Now he's a full-grown ape.
He was a spider monkey in Skull Island.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
just literally get over it. Monkey got big.
So Chase, what do you make of this whole, like, you know, the punch were heard around the fandom or aircraft carrier gate?
So when I stripped it off, well, never mind, you didn't hear that.
Nope.
The footage that I kept seeing, I liked it. I was happy to see it. I will say there were rumors in the underground of them showing something, and I was feeding into it, and I'm glad I did, because I did kind of expect it from this words that I was hearing. But I thought afterwards they were going to show something big, but anyways, I digress. I love the footage. I thought it was, in the beginning, I really didn't like the idea of Godzilla and Kong fighting. I thought a remake, or this isn't even, I don't know if you would even call this a remake. This is just,
it's a reimagining.
I don't know what you would call this.
It's a reimagining.
But I thought it just was not, I wasn't interested in when they announced it, like way back a couple years ago. I wasn't into it. I wasn't, But after seeing this footage and after the years, I've grown to it and gotten excited about it. And just seeing Kong just throw this haymaker into Godzilla's jaw or face or whatever you want to call it, I do love it. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun. I definitely... I don't care about the aircraft carrier bullcrap. That doesn't bother me, because you have a giant spaceship that fights kaiju. So I think an aircraft carrier that can fight kaiju too isn't that big of a deal. So that to me is it's just a fox, people want to bitch about something, and that's what they're going to do. That's just how our troll culture works. That's how the Godzilla fandom always is. But it doesn't bother me, I will say it was something that I was interested in when putting it on loop. You can see, Kong at that point is as big as Godzilla, and I think they do that to trick the viewers, because if you look at Godzilla, he is still climbing the aircraft carrier. If you see his movements,
yes.
His left leg that you see is also at his chest where his knee is, and that's not how Godzilla stands. And he's basically still leaning up, climbing up, standing up to like his full height. He's climbing to his full height. So Kong is going to be huge, but he's not going to be head to head with Godzilla. You can see that in the clip as Godzilla tries to climb up. Kong definitely, to me, is going to be at Godzilla's, his head's going to be at least Godzilla's chest. It's not going to be. I think Kong, it's going to be kind of like an exploit. They're going to make Kong think oh, he's not as big as Godzilla actually is, and then when Godzilla gets to his full height, Kong's going to be like, oh shit. So I think that's going to be the play, because that's what it looks like in the trailer if you watch it back and forth. It was Godzilla keeps getting climbing up, getting both of his legs up on the aircraft carrier. But what I loved about that trailer, actually, and I'm actually really excited about that little teaser, I loved the coloring. I loved the darkness they showed in it, even though it's probably unfinished and what it is, but it kind of gives me nostalgia of 2014. And I like that. I thought that was cool. It does add right at the back of it a different tone. It adds a way different tone than what Mike Doherty gave us. And I'm excited, actually, to see more of the tones and what Adam Wingard is trying to do. That darkness added this kind of it added a gravity to it, and I thought it was cool. It got me, it was more than enough to get hyped for me for November. I'm excited for when the trailer comes out at Comic-Con.
Gams. Like, what do you think of this whole,
I mean, he put it into more words than I would ever care to do.
Me too.
That's what I always do.
And I pretty much agree with pretty much everything except for the whole waiting for the Comic-Con thing. That's not confirmed, and I don't know about that, man.
You don't think the trailer's going to come at Comic-Con?
I don't think the first trailer's going to come at Comic-Con.
When do you think the first trailer's going to come?
Probably in the next couple of months.
I'm telling you.
But literally, Comic-Con is in what, July?
July.
Yeah. July, August, September, October, November. That's 4 months. And literally, right now, March is like 4 months away, and we was complaining about no trailer. So, if the first trailer comes out in Comic-Con 4 months away from the movie, that's still cutting it close.
I'm telling you right now, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it right now again. The first teaser trailer is coming out on the day that Godzilla vs. Kong was supposed to come out. It's coming out March 20th. I'm telling you right now. That trailer's going to drop.
You mean March 13th?
March 13th. Oh,
Yeah,
that weekend.
I sincerely believe that the first trailer is going to come out when it was supposed to come out March 13th.
I think that would actually work in Legendary's favor, because it'd be like, hey, remember when the movie was supposed to drop here? Hello! Just goof with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's literally the same thing that happened with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh.
That movie was supposed to come out on a specific day in November. I forget which day. And it got pushed back to Valentine's Day. And then we got the new trailer with the new Sonic the Hedgehog design in November.
And they really had to go back and redesign that, though. We all agree on that.
Oh, yeah, no, that was horrid. That was so much fun.
That was not Sonic the Hedgehog. That was more Shin Sonic than Sonic. 2 for 1! 2 for 1, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? We're not even done with the Shin talk yet. But, yeah, no, I totally get you. I think Comic-Con, is when they're going to drop it. And for this particular case, it makes absolute sense to drop that full trailer at Comic-Con. But if Legendary wants to have fun with it, okay, and say, okay, you know what, we pushed the movie back, and there's a lot of people bitching and moaning and complaining. Here's the teaser when the movie should have dropped. I think for the fans, I mean, for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, I'd see that as a sign of good faith and good spirits and good humor. You know what I mean? It's nothing but good, and it's like, all right, Legendary gets it. They understand our passion for it, and you know what I'm saying? They're not jerking us around. They're not putting us down. They're saying, look, dudes, all right, we weren't ready yet, or something didn't work, so here we are. We pushed it back, but here's the first teaser when it should have came out, and trust us, you're going to be shocked and awed when the legit
I think it
comes. Really
just depends what marketing strategy they're trying to pull. Because, well, I mean, of course, the trailer can come out at any time, but I think in a way, Legendary's wanting to correct where they went wrong with King of the Monsters, and right. King of the Monsters hype was so huge when it came out at Comic-Con. I think they're trying to redo that and just be smart with it.
Right.
I think the marketing would be fine in 4 months. I don't think that's the issue. But I definitely can see that it is possible it come out at a later, at any time, because Legendary and Warner Brothers have that, Monarch Sciences. They have those teases that they do to do that, to market, and they work. But I think Legendary's, they still need. The reason why I think Comic-Con is the day is because Legendary still needs a big thing to branch this out to a wide audience.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not gonna just do that by popping it on a Monarch Sciences website or just popping it on the internet in general.
Right.
It's even though the internet is wide and vast, you still need something like Comic-Con to add that. The news comes, the Colossal Monsters clash at Comic-Con, and it's the biggest trailer at Comic-Con, yada, yada, yada. People are going to feed into that, and that's going to start marketing really well. I think that's the play. It's just
That's a great tagline.
Business-wise, you know, it just seems feasible that way.
They should have.
I'm not saying it doesn't pop out in May. I'm not saying it doesn't pop out in March. You know, I think it would be weird if it popped out in March, though. Because I don't know how marketing.
You're not hearing me. I'm not talking about a trailer. I'm talking about a teaser. I'm talking about a teaser.
Okay, well, okay.
A teaser in March, just to say, hey fans, look, we know it was supposed to drop now. Here's a little teaser. You get the full one come Comic-Con.
Funny? It's just a little teaser of Kong walking to a shore of a beach and just sitting down on the beach.
Or even better, it's Kong sucker punching Godzilla on the fucking top of an aircraft carrier.
It's just a 3-second
thing. See the full trailer at Comic-Con.
Clip in HD.
In HD.
Yeah. It's just a 3-second clip of that. And I will say too, you got, and this may be a coincidence. The teaser was shown at Comic-Con Brazil, so why would it not show at Comic-Con San Diego?
Yeah, all right.
I'm not saying we're not going to get a trailer.
Right.
I'm saying we're not going to get the first trailer at Comic-Con.
And that is possible, but I'm still thinking that that's when marketing will hit off.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, to me personally, I think Comic-Con right now, especially because the movie comes out a couple months afterwards. I just don't think Warner Brothers and Legendary are going to be putting the thousands of dollars into their marketing for Godzilla vs. Kong like they did with King of the Monsters. Which goes back to what Gam Gam is saying, and it's a bad movie. So they're trying to just, cut as much cost as possible. But then again, it goes both ways. The pendulum swings one way, and then it goes right back to the other. Because it could be, they do have a solid movie on their hands, and they're like, okay, let's not blow up. It
depends what that lady from Disney they hired it has to say.
Executives and all of that stuff could go thrown out the window. If they don't know about the franchise and what fans want, it doesn't matter to me. That's how I look at the things like that. When it comes to like executive changes and things of that nature, I could care less because I don't care how she marketed any of those Disney Marvel or Star Wars movies. I don't care. If she doesn't know them like the fans do, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we don't know that. We probably won't know that unless she actually says it. But that does bring me to kind of a side point I just thought about. I wonder what's going to happen to the video games and the toys and all that were supposed to come out right before March.
No. They'll listen, it makes it, to me, and this is why I like the November release, and I think we spoke about this, Chase. Christmas, right. The movie comes out, and then boom, now you have all of these monster toys and shit just in time for Black Friday.
Yeah, dude, that's insane, right? Yeah, just thinking about how cool that is. We're going to be eating Thanksgiving and watching Godzilla vs. Kong in November, and then we can just go right to Walmart after the movie and pick up a Kong toy that punches Godzilla.
Absolutely.
Unless it gets scooped up first by scalpers.
Oh, them dirty.
Hey, that's what NECA gets.
All right. Well, listen. All that aside, there really isn't much more to talk about when it comes to this little 3-second teaser. It was fun. I got to be honest. I'm on the side of the people like, really, if it's an aircraft carrier, I don't care how long the shit is.
One more thing.
If Godzilla's not even up on that shit yet, here's the deal. This is why they're changing the whole thing around.
One more.
Wait. I'm going to get to you. Give me a second. The whole thing with Godzilla stepping onto that aircraft carrier, the reason why they're shutting this down is because in the original version, once he steps up fully, then the fucking thing tilts like a seesaw. Kong goes flying right over his head. Woo! Goodbye. And then it was like, okay, wait, we can't do this. We'll put that there and end it right there. Trust me, it's typical Hollywood 101.
It's definitely going to be the talk of the internet for a while. But I will say this. It is interesting that the leak of the trailer description came out back in October, and look what happened. The biggest piece in that leak trailer that was talked about was Kong in an aircraft carrier and Godzilla and Kong in an aircraft carrier. And man, if that just opens up a whole new world now.
Yeah, it definitely.
Oh yeah. That 3 seconds is talked about verbatim in that trailer description.
Yeah, and that also means too King Ghidorah in chains.
Or that's getting changed. Chains. It
could.
But anyhow, let's get off
Kevin. It's the revenge of Kevin.
We're getting off that subject. Because I want to talk about something that actually dropped today on Saturday. See, if we would have did this podcast on Thursday, we would not be talking about this right now. We'd be talking about it next week. But because this podcast is being recorded on Saturday today, this morning we got our first look at Shin Ultraman.
Actually, it wasn't this morning. It was yesterday at around 7 p.m. my time, so like around...
This morning when I woke up, I saw the first image of Shin Ultraman. And now here's the deal. This is big. Because it is also, it's a Hideki Anno and the Guy Higuchi production. The guys who brought you Attack on Titan, the live-action movie. The guys who brought you Shin Godzilla, that, nobody likes except for GamZ1. And here we were.
Shin Higuchi was also the director of special effects for the Gamera trilogy. Have some respect.
Which is why I believe that Hideki Anno has, hypnotized the poor guy into buying into his bullshit. But that all being said, that all being said, this image of Ultraman, which you can see here on the thumbnail, along with that Kong punching Godzilla thing, it's cool because guess what? It looks like Ultraman, the original Ultraman, and I'm not mad at it.
It looks like Ultraman, but he's not making a very Ultraman-y pose. He's just kind of standing there.
He is just kind of standing there. You know why?
He's standing there staring at the screen saying, why am I working with this guy? Why am I called Shin Ultraman? Shin Godzilla was crap, and this is going to be crap.
I'm actually shocked because of the idea that it's called Shin Ultraman, and it looks just like Ultraman. Like, there's nothing different about it. And
well, there is one thing that everybody's been pointing out.
Don't talk about the damn beeping light thing.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have it.
That's cool, but you know what? I was... To me, and again, I guess it's because of... I never watched that show when I was younger. I started watching it literally like 3 years ago. I always hated it because it was a plot device, a MacGuffin. Ultraman has to beat this monster now within the last 3 minutes of the episode. And you know what's going to happen unless it was a cool monster and then it was a to be continued type of thing. But other than that, I was like, Ultraman's going to win. But I get it because for the time... It's suspenseful and for children. That thing not being there, for me, means that Ultraman is going to be Ultraman. And we're going to get to see long fights with whatever happens. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally happy with that, actually. And I guess that's because I'm not a purist. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be Ultraman purists who are going to be like, nope, you need timer. And that's cool. I get it. You grew up with that stuff. On the other hand, I'm like, I just started watching this stuff, and I'm happy that it doesn't have a timer because that means more giant kaiju versus Ultraman battles, and I'm cool, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see how they're going to... I don't want to see a government trying to figure out how they're going to handle Ultraman. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see orange soda flowing around in rivers. Nope, don't want to see that. I want to see what the essence of Ultraman was in these guys' hands. I don't like Shin Godzilla, but I'm not opposed to giving them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this, especially after seeing this image. I'm like, that's Ultraman. I'm cool with this. Let's go. So I know I'm gonna start with Games because I know Chase, you really have no difference in the matter. But Games, what about you?
I actually like the design. I like it a lot. It's very classic Ultraman. Very classic Ultraman. I still find the pose that he's in just really fun. He's just like, hey guys, I'm Ultraman. How's it going?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the reason why I wanted these dudes to make a Godzilla movie in the first place. That 7 minutes short, 8 minutes short.
Oh yeah. Where is that thing kind of making just a neutral pose, and he's just floating over the city, and lasers just shooting out everywhere.
Everywhere. And then when he lands in the city, he literally is standing exactly like that Ultraman pose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Arms down to the side. It's exactly that. It's crazy.
It's just a very casual, just kind of standing there kind of pose. Just like, hi, how's it going?
Like he knows he can take over everything if he wanted to, so don't mess with him. I'm just saying. But anyhow.
Yeah. I am excited for Shin Ultraman because, I'm the only one of this group that actually likes Shin Godzilla. In fact, I fucking love Shin Godzilla. So, I have full faith. And this first image has just given me even more faith because, well, this time instead of going completely different like it did with Shin Godzilla, they're going more traditional for Shin Ultraman. And to have, basically a feature-length classic Ultraman episode is what I've always wanted. I know there's other movies out there and stuff, but I don't think it was just a strictly classic Ultraman feature-length movie before.
Except for that Ultraman movie that came out in the late 90s or early 2000s that was just Ultraman. That I think was the genesis of, I think, X, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. Or Nexus, one or the other.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what kaiju he fights. I kind of hope it's Red King. He's always been my favorite Ultraman kaiju.
What's the Godzilla one? Gomez?
There's two of them. There's Jiras, which is basically the Godzilla suit from Sea Monster with a frill.
Yep.
And Gomez is a heavily modified Matsugoji.
That's the one with the horn on his nose.
No, that's a totally different monster. I forget his name.
So then they're gonna do Jiras, and it's gonna be Shin, and it's gonna be terrible.
Okay, Kazumer.
I'm just saying that's why this image is so mysterious, because Ultraman is looking at the latest incarnation of Shin Godzilla.
He's just like, what 12. The fuck is that?
Yeah, it's got frills now. But no, I digress. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even joke about this, because I do like the image.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. Right now, all we have is just this image, and I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see more. I like what I see. I like this Ultraman.
Chase, I know.
Wait to see him in motion.
Chase, I know you don't watch Ultraman. You really can care less about Ultraman, but GamCam has made a really good point there when he said they went one way with Godzilla and like something we've never seen, and yet when they take something like Ultraman, which is a lot younger than Godzilla. Remember, Godzilla has been a lot older than Ultraman. Then they take something like Ultraman and they don't change anything. They basically make the original Ultraman just without the little red dye in the middle that you don't know about. But what do you think about what he said? Because that's actually a really good point. What do you think about them not straying away from the original version of the character?
That's what they should have done with Godzilla. Are you giving me that fucking bullshit? Are you kidding me? Fucking seriously? Bullshit! You're gonna take something like Ultraman and you're gonna leave him wet and dry and narrow and same as he is, but you touch Godzilla and turn him into some type of disco ball alien that was made from a turd that was radioactive in the water? Are you fucking kidding me? Bullshit! Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. How dare you touch Godzilla and not fucking Ultraman? You know, if Ultraman doesn't fucking fart fucking lasers out of his ass in 5 dimensions, bullshit. I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to tell you, if Ultraman doesn't fucking split his head open and shoot a big old laser beam out the chrome of his fucking head, it's going to be trash, man. That movie's going to be so stupid. Ultraman's just going to be so lame and original. He's not going to do shit, man. It's going to be the same old shit. Why don't you just watch Zone Fighter? Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Man, oh my God, that makes my blood boil. It does, because you're going to take something like Ultraman, but yet you're not going to change him like you did Godzilla. You did Godzilla so dirty, and you fucking changed him, you turned him. He is dying right now. He is sitting there acting like, why was I created? I should just be dead. And Ultraman's like, hi guys, I'm just standing here confused as what's going to happen to me. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I think it's so wrong, and hopefully it just proves the point that Anno, or whatever his fucking name is just a psychopath. God, I can't stand it. It pisses me off. And the term Shin Ultraman, what is that, God Ultraman too now? You give a Shin Godzilla, who was nothing compared to a god, is just a piece of shit, and then you're going to give a Shin Ultraman? What is he, a god too? I mean, I feel sorry. Anything with the word Shin on it, I cringe. I think that is such a stupid tagline for a movie or a monster's name. Shin this, shin that. It's just shit. But instead they don't want to call it shit. They put an N in the end of it. So instead of shit, it's shin. And we all know it. We can all tell. It's exactly what it is. They just don't want to admit it. Just put shit in it and get along with it and tell everyone. But no, they want to try and make a profit on their shitty movie. Bullshit. How dare you do that? You don't change Ultraman, but yet you change Godzilla? Bullshit. Bullshit. You could have made such a better movie if you just left Godzilla the way he is, let alone his design. Get rid of that. I don't give a shit. But the fact is you changed him to turn him into some type of X-Men piece of bullshit. Fuck that. That pisses me off. That's bullshit and stupid. And you're not going to do shit to Ultraman? Oh, bull. Bull. Your movie's going to suck, and I hope it just crushes and crumbles beneath you. God damn it.
Can I please just stress the fact that children under 13 are not allowed on this podcast?
I gotta tell you. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never, and it's like 4 or 5 years I've known Brother Chase, have experienced anything like that from him. Oh, shit. Time out. If we did a best of...
Are you okay, Chase?
Oh, my God.
Do you have some demons that you need to get out?
I might have to take some blood pressure pills after that one.
Yo, for a dude who just woke up about 5 minutes before we went to podcast, I fucking love that. If we did a best of 2019 show, that's going up. That's even better than my damn Rodan rant.
It'd be your Rodan rant, my City on the Edge of Battle rant,
yes,
and then that.
That's it. Those are top 3 moments of the G show this year. It wasn't. Oh my God, dude! I can't. I got nothing. I'm about to end the damn podcast. We still got things to talk about. Holy shit! Oh my God! Oh, yo, dude, you did not waste a word in that rant, and I applaud the shit out of it, bro. As much as I disagree with the Ultraman stuff, but I applaud the shit because, man, oh my God. At the end of the day...
I just had to let you finish, all right? There is no interjecting with the rant like that.
That is...
In all fairness, I will give it the actual thought where I was initially going to that. But hearing what that said just really made my blood boil. The whole... You're going to leave Ultraman what he is. That's what I was wanting with Shin Godzilla. And that's what I thought should have happened. So when it happens with Ultraman, it's just a big middle finger. But anyways, with what I was going to say is, look, man, I think it's cool. Ultraman fans are going to have a good time. They're going to enjoy this movie, hopefully. Hopefully they don't do any of that weird Shin Godzilla shit with Ultraman, because then that'd be 2 monsters in the franchise that are just toilet trashes. And look, I hope that Higuchi does right. I hope he does right by it. I hope fans are satisfied. I personally won't watch the film because I've just never have ever been into Ultraman. I think a giant robo from Voyage into Space would just annihilate Ultraman. So I have always been more of a Voyage into Space fan. I'm just not into Ultraman. It's not my cup of tea. Whether it's a good movie or bad movie, it's going to mean nothing to me because I just don't have a desire to watch it, and I probably just won't.
Oh, my God.
But, however, I hope the movie's right by those who deserve it, and, I wish the same was the same with Godzilla, but luckily you can't always get what you want, and you know how that song goes, and as long as Ultraman is happy for those who want to watch it, hey, I'm happy for you. But I'm going to go back and get back into the realm of Godzilla. So
yeah, well, listen. The Zone Fighter thing. Okay, listen. On that note, we are going to end this episode of the Godzilla Block Party. I got nothing else to say. I really don't. I mean, I can't. You can't do anything else after that rant. But listen, everybody, we'll be back next week, right before Christmas, for another episode. We'll just talk Godzilla. We'll talk other things. We've got Reiko and Raika coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, don't miss that either. We got some stuff to say.
Hey, we can talk about that. The principal photography for the Batman just started today.
And that's not even a part of the Godzilla thing. But anyway, on that note, Brother Chase, man, unbelievable rant, bro. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. I think I made the neighbors afraid. The neighbors next door are probably like, holy shit, we gotta move.
He literally just made me shut the podcast down with that rant. Gamzee, my brother Andrew, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, yeah, it was certainly a pleasure to talk with both of you guys over it. went over a 3-second clip and a still image, and that still image got us some of the greatest material I've ever seen in my life.
Who would have saw that coming? And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.